Hey, Bo, I'm just wondering what it was like to see Luke Shen back on the ice. Obviously, he had tested positive, and if you need a visual reminder of what it's like to come back after something like that, it looked like he was sucking wind pretty good today. But what about just getting him back, Bo?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was good to see him back. Yeah, we all know what it's like to go through something like that, and it's not easy to have 10 days off and then come back and do a hard skate like that. So it's going to take some time to get back into it, but no, he did good for being off the ice for as long as he was.
How difficult is it going to be, Bo, once you guys actually get back to playing and the 27th is the target date here with Seattle, knowing that you guys were in such a roll and everybody was really going and you try to manufacture that urgency in practice. How difficult is it going to be to get back to where you guys were, or do you think it's a problem?
I don't see it being a problem, to be honest with you. If anything, it's just going to give us time to get guys back in the lineup and for us to to pick off where we left off, and for us is just keeping that mindset, what we had going into this pause, and get right back into it.
Next up, we'll go to Farhan Lalji, TSN.
Do you get a chance to learn more from a guy like Bruce with an extended period of time to practice, given you didn't have him in camp and he's trying to implement different systems?
Yeah, no, I think honestly, I think this is almost a little bit good for us, and for him, obviously, to implement some stuff that he couldn't kind of right on the fly. Obviously, he's taught us a couple of things, but to actually get some practice time with us now and kind of have like a mini camp here, I think is going to be good for our systems and for us going forward.
You disappointed at all that you lose a bit of momentum given how well you were playing prior to this?
Yeah, I mean, it is disappointing a little bit. But again, we can't let this hinder us at all. And it does give us a little bit of time to get guys back in the lineup and get us healthy again and ready to go for the 27th.
Thomas Strantz, The Athletic.
Oh, Bruce mentioned that he spoke with you yesterday about practicing today, and that you were excited in the wake of 2 days in which everyone had tested negative. He also mentioned that your players specifically, and especially those players who dealt with last season's outbreak, have been consulted pretty closely on when to skate, when not to skate. We know that happened at Tuesday's morning skate and presumably played a role in Friday's practice, or optional practice anyway, being canceled. Can you walk us through your side of what it's been like in terms of the interaction with a new coach and new management on dealing with this outbreak?
Yeah, I think we're treating it obviously a lot differently than we treated it last year, being gone through it. We know how fast it spread and we know why it spread last year. And for us to be away from each other as much as possible and not obviously spreading it to each other on the ice or in the room was super important. So to take those proper precautions, I think has been smart so far. But I do obviously know with the last 2 days being negative, hopefully it continues to be negative, but it's, hopefully it is more good to come out of it. And it is good to get back on the ice and practice. You don't want to be sitting there doing nothing for, 10 days and then hop back right into a hockey game. So I think it's good for us to get on the ice for sure.
And we know you're a longtime fan of the skate. We saw Thatcher Demko's equipment today. I'm talking about the flying skate, the blacks that you guys have occasionally worn as alternates. We saw Demko's setup today. What was your reaction to his gear? What would your reaction be to wearing those again in a game?
Love those. I mean, I love this gear too. I don't know, I'm a big fan of the skate jersey, and like you said, Thatch said it was a mock-up of, I think it was Kirk McLean's or something. I think it was old goaltender's exact replica of his gear when he wore it. And I thought it looked pretty sweet out there. It'll even look better with a black jersey on for sure.
We'll move to Ian McIntyre, Sportsnet.
Hey, Bo, just following up what Thomas asked you, is the communication between management and the coaching staff and the players, is it better in this outbreak, for lack of a better term, than what it was last spring?
Yeah, well, I think we know exactly. Obviously, we were learning a lot about it last year, but I mean, this year has been a lot different. I think just because of, again, what we went through last year, and we know how fast it can spread and what it can do. So obviously taking a lot more precaution this year, just from past experience. So there has been a little bit more communication, because obviously we don't want to have that happen again.
And there's obviously a lot going on in the world right now. And I don't know if you feel quote unquote lucky that there's still 5 guys on your COVID list. But when you look around the league, you see how many teams have been shut down. And you see that this organization seems to have found a way for now to limit the spread. Do you feel fortunate that way? Do you feel like you guys as an organization have been on top of this?
Yeah, no, I think definitely we've been taking the right steps to prevent that from happening to us again. And I mean, yeah, you look around the league and it's going through teams like wildfire, obviously. Thankfully, the vaccine is, making guys not get as sick as we were last year unvaccinated. But at the same time, we don't want this to keep spreading and get guys sick. So hopefully everybody's feeling okay and we can recover from this and get going again.
Brianna Himmelwright, CBC.
Hi, Mr. Horvat. As you know, new COVID restrictions have been enacted in the province today, and the Vancouver Canucks have had to postpone 2 games over the weekend. How have the new restrictions impacted the team?
I mean, obviously not playing hockey games. It's it's not ideal, but at the same time, we got to take people's health into consideration and make sure everybody's safe and healthy and their families are healthy, and that guys are going to be home for Christmas. So, I think it's the right thing to do at this time, and get everybody back and ready to go after Christmas.
And what has it been like to have games canceled / postponed?
No, obviously it's not ideal. You want to be playing hockey. You want to be on the ice and with your teammates. But again, the players' safety and health and family safety and health comes first, and this is the right thing to do right now.
We'll take a couple more. Jay Janauer, Global.
Bo, I want to ask you from a personal standpoint as well as a professional standpoint, what's really stood out for me in the last 10 days is the leadership shown by Bruce Boudreau with his hockey team on the ice, but also Jim Rutherford off the ice. From your perspective, Bo, what have you noticed about how they've handled the hockey team, obviously with what's going on right now, but just their leadership? Because I think just watching it from the outside, it seems to be different and it seems to be genuine and sincere.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been great ever since they stepped in. And, I think, the biggest thing is they've been really willing to do whatever it takes to help us win hockey games. And, Bruce has been around a really long time, and so has Jim. And they know what it takes to win. And, they've been doing everything they can to help us win. So, obviously things have been going really well so far, and we got to keep that going.
Has it been a different tone or a different way? I mean, there seems to be a real communication flow, not only towards us, but I'm also thinking for you guys as well. Your voices seem to be being heard more.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, they obviously they listen to what we have to say and are willing to change things or do things, to help us not only off the ice, but on the ice as well. And I think that's a good thing to have communication between everybody and not having any disconnect. So it's been working well, and we just have to keep that going and keep communicating that way.
Final question for Bo. We'll go to Kevin Woodley.
Hey, Bo. Sorry, Bruce has talked a little bit since he got here about sort of lamenting not having a training camp to get systems in. How much of this right now is worrying about losing momentum, or do you see there an opportunity for a team that's been playing so well to maybe even come out of this a little crisper, a little more dialed in on his details?
Yeah, no, I think this pause or like what we're going through right now could be a good thing. Like I said, getting guys back in the lineup and getting a full roster again and making sure guys are healthy, but not only that, just implementing systems that he wants us to do better and kind of tightening up our game a little bit. And obviously a couple new systems, couple new things that Bruce wants to try. And I think it's good that we get to practice those before heading back into a game.
Is there anything you can do about the momentum loss? Is there any way to sort of keep that going when it's just practices?
No, I mean, we just have to have high-paced practices and realize where we're at and not lose sight of what we've been doing and what's in the future here. That's, we've worked hard to bring ourselves kind of back into it, and we just got to keep that going now, and that starts in practice.